sure look. It'll be grand.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. All of those welcomes that we say every week. Welcome to another episode of Sure It'll Be Grand, a movie review podcast that some people say is not that bad compared to some other shows, which we'll take, I think. We're going to cover an incredible movie this week, and in this episode also, I, Owen, will prove myself a hypocrite for loving this movie for all the things I said I hated about last week's movie. Dan will probably lose his mind once again about some minor frivolous detail in the movie, and we'll let you know what we're covering on next week's show if you stick around right to the end. We'll have vague knowledge of some facts, we'll probably get some people's names wrong, and we'll mock the things we love ceaselessly. But it'll be damn good fun. I'm Owen, and Dan is with me as always, and this week we are taking a look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. And I have never been as excited. How about you, Dan?
I love this movie as well. Not as much as you. I found out in the last few days.
No.
But I really do enjoy this movie. I think I had it on like VHS and probably played it a billion times. But
yeah,
go on.
That's what I was going to ask was like, did you see this in the cinema when it came out? Like, do you remember the first time you saw this? Or is it just like, it's just part of life like it is for me?
Well, I don't remember it in cinema. I think I was just a little bit too young. I think it came out in like the US in like 1995. So I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have been brought there at that age. But I remember watching the TV show a lot. I remember having the VHS of this movie and watching it time and time again. And it's a thing you kind of forget when you're old because, like, you know, if you have any family members or friends who have kids and you come over to them for the day and they'll watch, like, Frozen, like, 5 times that day and you're wondering, like, what's going on here?
No,
and then
we did it when we were kids. I would put, this was one of them, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. The Turtles that we mentioned, that we covered a couple of weeks ago, was one of them for a little while. And then I think I had like the Jungle Book, Disney's The Jungle Book. I loved, for some reason, had it on all the time.
Yeah. Little Mermaid as well, I think, for me.
What was that?
Little Mermaid.
Oh, Little Mermaid.
VHS,
yeah,
we watched a lot. Aladdin too. Aladdin a lot. Aladdin is the most, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I didn't have Aladdin or The Lion King or anything on VHS, but I had the Jungle Book for some reason. So I had a
stick that one on.
Let's go.
I had a slightly different experience to you though, because I've watched all these kids' movies in German.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know.
What is the German translation of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Oh, don't embarrass me. I don't know, but
I'm genuinely curious.
I think there's a lot of times when I'm watching these movies that I haven't watched since I was like less than 10, where I would have watched them in German, and that it's a kind of a weird otherworldly feel to it. Like the sound of it, I can never put my finger on it. I know what it is. It's because it's spoken in a different language, and the language matches the lip movement now, which wasn't the case. And not every single kid of a certain age was voiced by the same German voice actor. Like,
it's probably, I mean, the Germans, they probably just had one word that encapsulated the meaning of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers anyway. So don't worry about it. There's not a direct translation, I'd assume.
Look, to be fair, all you have to do is get rid of the spaces in between the words in English, and that's probably enough.
Yeah, just throw a little inflection on it.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Accent.
And I absolutely remember watching this movie, loving it. And you're very right. This is very much the Transformers for us. The first 2 seasons of the Power Rangers movie series was out, and then they made this movie very much like the Transformers, where they had the first 2 seasons out.
But the difference is, this is a movie. The Transformers was not.
Yeah, it's a lot less hectic.
It's an actual film. All right, but we'll dive into that in the next section. Let's knock some factual data stuff out of the way so we can get it done at the top. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, released in 1995 following the incredible success of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the first.
Just before you go on there, and just to interrupt you, I'm very sorry. This is how you name a movie. You don't add the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. You just say the name and then say the movie afterwards, unlike Transformers.
No, see, we went through this last week. The Transformers was the name of the TV show.
Yes,
So it
I
was
know,
The
I understand
Transformers,
that,
the
but they should have
movie.
got rid of the for the movie because it sounds stupid to have a movie that has two in
The
the title.
Transformers, the movie.
That sounds dumb.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is dumb. Ah well.
Right,
So,
anyway.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Spoiler
the
if you
movie.
haven't watched the last weeks.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, released 1995, following two seasons of Mighty
Yes.
Morphin Power Rangers, the TV show. Which,
Indeed.
I mean, seasons not like seasons that we have now. There was like 50 episodes a season in those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Like those first two seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had about like 100+ episodes, and they did things in like 6-part series and stuff because they used to
Yeah,
air like
yeah.
an episode a day on Fox, so they do like a
Yeah.
5-part mini thing. And anyway,
Like,
the movie
but
came out.
it was very formulaic. You know, you still had like something's happening in the city. There's this, I don't know, this thing throwing cannonballs around, and the Rangers fight it. It grows big. The Transformers fight. Would there be an
well,
overgoing
that
plot?
was-
So, like the Green Ranger, for example.
That was the formula the show fell into after a while.
Yeah.
The first like 5 or 6 episodes are complete nonsense, and even the show itself ignores them, to be honest.
Okay,
In like
nice.
episode 2 or 3 of the very first season, but this is before the Green Ranger stuff even happens.
Yeah.
Billy builds a flying car in his garage that they use to fly to Zordon's place. Just a flying
Oh.
car. He just puts it together in his garage. He's like, "Hey guys, I built a flying car," and the show never mentions it again.
Yeah, maybe
Stuff
just
like that.
Look, man, we can like rainbow transport anywhere.
They
Let's
just like the first few episodes. They didn't really know what they were doing. They were just like, "Right, we
yeah,
have access to this footage from Japan, and we're just gonna
Yeah.
throw it together and see what happens." Well, the movie came out. 20th Century Fox produced,
Yeah.
created the movie from
R.I.P.
Saban, who had the rights to the It's all the whole rights thing to the Power Rangers feels like a weird mess to me, and I don't really get it. But the movie, Fox had the rights solely just for the movie, right? So Saban, so the TV show aired on Fox, but Saban
Yeah.
made the TV show using
Yeah.
rights that they had gotten from
Rights.
rights that they had gotten from Toei in
Yeah.
Japan to use their Sentai show called Jew Rangers. Yes.
Oh.
That was its name. Let's not go anywhere with that. But then 20th Century Fox, the film branch of Fox Kids, got the rights from Saban to make the
I already
movie.
lost you, but go on.
Okay,
Continue.
right. So 20th Century Fox made the movie. But finally they had a budget and they were like, right, we don't need to use the Sentai stuff anymore. We can make our own suits and we can do, and they were like, wow, CGI is a thing. Let's just throw that at the screen. And they made their own stuff. This is the first time a Power Rangers thing ever was made that didn't use any footage from Japan.
Yeah.
20th Century Fox made the movie. It does not have anything to do with the TV show, except it stars the Power Rangers and it has the same cast
Yeah.
to an extent. They They
Yeah.
made their own villains. The pig guy, Mordant, he's not in the TV show. He's just in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they tell their own story of how the Power Rangers get their ninja powers, which
Right.
season 3 of the TV show then came out and was like, that's not how it happens. All right, we can't use the movie stuff because it's too expensive and Fox won't let us. But we can still use the Japan stuff, so we're going to go back now.
But
and
we're still going to put our stuff on the
Yes.
Fox network to be shown as well.
Yes.
Okay,
But
cool.
we're going to use the Japan way of. We're going to bring in anyway. It's a whole. I don't really still. I've spent some trying to figure it out. I still don't fully get it, but it's a whole convoluted mess of crap. But the cast is all
Yeah.
here. All your favorite Power Rangers are all here.
They are my favorite Power Rangers, to be fair.
I mean,
like,
they're the only good ones, so they're all here.
oh.
Karen Ashley as Aisha, the Yellow Ranger. Johnny Bosch
Yes.
as Adam, the Black Ranger. Steve Cardenas as Rocky, the Red Ranger. Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver, the only important Ranger. Amy Jo Johnson as Kimberly Hart, the Pink Ranger. And David Yost
Who-
as Billy Cranston, the Blue
Kimberly
Ranger.
Hart, who had every single boy's and some girl's heart the moment she came on screen.
Kimberly, yeah. I mean, if it was...
Yeah.
Back then, I think it was either a lot of people. I think the competition was Kimberly from the Power Rangers or Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that's
And they
probably
both
fair.
looked
And definitely more
kind
like
of the same.
Kimberly household in my.
I was a kid. Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell ended when in '93, so I was like I was a
Yeah.
little bit too young for Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
But-
Hot, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, and of course the main characters of the TV series are back. Bulk and Skull, played by
Yeah.
Jason Narvey and Paul Schreier. Who
Indeed.
do you know what Bulk and Skull's real names are?
I do not. Cool.
Eugene and Farkas.
That makes sense, to be honest. Yeah, I buy that.
Eugene Skulovich and Farkas Bulkmeyer.
Skulovich. That
Yeah,
I wanted to see
Skulovich.
the etymology of that family tree.
Don't know. We got rounding out the rest of the cast. Then Paul Freeman is back. He's not back. This is his first and only time he's been in the Power Rangers. He's playing the villain Ivan Ooze. Gabrielle Fitzpatrick plays Dulcia, the space warrior lady.
Yes.
And then you've got
Owl Woman.
Goldar is here, Lord Zed is here, Alpha 5 is back, Zordon is popping in, but they've got a different guy playing him than the TV show.
Here's a question. So I noticed the building that Zordon lives in is close to what was in the TV show, but it was kind of like padded out with extra building areas. I don't remember, but is the inside of the building the same, or did they do it up for the movie?
It's the same, but Zordon looks different in the movie. And in the movie, he's also physically in the tube. In the TV show, he's not. Alpha looks different in the movie. He's got like a fancier visor and stuff.
And a bunch of LEDs on his body.
Yeah,
or her body.
and
I don't know what Alpha is.
the like outside is slightly different. It just looks like they had a budget to do more stuff. So and the Rangers.
It's a real building as well.
The Rangers have different suits in the movie.
They do.
They have fancy
they have like
suits and gadgets,
leather
and stuff.
padding and stuff on. Yeah.
But that's
the torches. Oh my, no, man! The torches on the Yellow Ranger is the coolest thing ever. Right?
We'll get there. All right, we'll get there. Just some interesting things I found out about people who worked on this movie that will prove to everybody that this is in fact high art. All right.
Okay. Go on.
The art director for
there was one?
for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie was done by, you ready for it?
Go on.
A man named Colin Gibson. And you know what movie he was the lead production designer on?
Go on.
Mad Max Fury Road and a whole slew of other George Miller films. So stick that in your pipe, Power Rangers haters. It has the same set decorator as The Matrix. Also there's a guy in it briefly who played Agent Brown in the first Matrix too. So it's The Matrix before there was The Matrix. All right, and
okay.
Wait for this last. No, wait. There's one more. The same costume designer as Independence Day and The Mandalorian.
Independence Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was there a lot of costumes in an Independence Day?
Yeah, there was.
All right.
Brilliant.
All right.
They were incredible costumes. I can't believe you don't remember them. And wait, you're gonna get this one. An engineer, one of the costume designers for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, was an engineer who worked on the special effects for the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
So this movie is art. It is complicated and beautiful and stellar and wonderful.
I'm not sure I stick with the whole it's a precursor for other movies just because they have the same people working on it.
Yeah, and if we didn't have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, none of those people would have been able to go on and make The Matrix, Mad Max Fury Road, or the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I feel like they would have.
No, I don't know. They had to get their teeth wet somewhere. Is that the phrase?
Teeth wet.
Teeth wet. Yes.
Okay.
Bite their teeth.
Okay. The lips wet, but teeth wet too. Sure,
teeth
why not?
wet. All right. Okay.
The tongue is wet a bit, you know.
Yeah, one of those things. All right. Let's move into what the hell is going on.
What the hell is going on?
All right. So this movie opens with a text crawl, and it's a better text crawl than in any Star Wars movie. Fight me.
Because someone's reading it.
Yeah, because somebody's reading it.
Well, look, talk about exposition. Huge amount of exposition.
This is not See, this is like I will actually defend this opening crawl, right? Because it is expositional, but it's there.
It is.
All it does is explain the concept of the Power Rangers and it needs to be there for people who didn't watch the TV show, which is what they wanted. They wanted this movie to not just be for Power Rangers fans. They wanted other people to be able to watch it too. So all the text does is like, 10,000 years ago, some guy named Zordon was like, hey, I want to save the world, and he made some power coins, and he gave them to some kids, and they can they have superpowers, and they can summon things called Zords, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
all
already
it says.
better than Transformers at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, and it's better than fucking Star Wars. And it's better. Well, look, all right, I
it's
will say
not
this. All right, it's better. It's better than the what's the bit at the end? Is it the Rise of Skywalker? The opening crawl is just like, suddenly Emperor Palpatine is alive. It's like, what?
Who would have thought that?
It's certainly better than that one.
Yeah.
That's how the movie opens, with that little opening crawl, just to tell you, all you Philistines who didn't watch the Power Rangers, what the Power Rangers are and what they can do.
Yeah.
They're kids with attitude.
I'm sure all the parents really appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. They're kids with attitude who know martial arts, and they sometimes have superpowers. Sometimes it's odd. Sometimes they don't.
And they have turtles.
And they have Zords that they summon and jump into and stuff. And their leader is Zordon, a giant head in a tube.
Which I only realized when we were looking at that spiel coming down. Like, oh wait, Zords, Zordon. God damn it.
The Zords, yeah. Another thing that's like, Power Rangers mythology has never... I mean, maybe they have, but it contradicts itself so much that I don't really think they've ever actually been like in some instances, Zordon created the Power Rangers.
Yes.
But then in season 3 of the TV show, Zordon did not create the Power Rangers, because they meet a guy named Ninjor who created the power coins, which are what let them turn into Power Rangers. Yes. But also sometimes, if the Zords aren't around, they can't turn into Power Rangers, and then other times they can. And then there's one time where like Kimberly's power coin gets stolen, but she's able to borrow energy off the other Rangers and still do Power Ranger stuff for a little bit.
Yeah, I think the later shows kind of explain the whole thing is like the morphing grids, and you get access to it, and that's how you get the powers. But that really wasn't a thing in the early Power Rangers, as far as I'm aware.
A lot of stuff wasn't a thing in the early Power Rangers. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, whatever, bro. Well, so we start the movie with the best intro to a team of superheroes ever, probably.
It's a pretty good one, actually. Yeah, I like it.
It's the Power Ranger team. It's all of the Rangers and Bulk and Skull for some reason.
Love energy.
They're there too.
Yeah.
Skydiving. They're jumping out of an airplane for the Angel Grove annual teen skydive fundraiser to raise funds for the local telescope.
And because they want to beat their record. Their record, implying this is a...
I mean, it says when they land that it's a new record. It doesn't say who had the old one.
But it just still implies that this city, I guess, does a yearly...
Yes,
probably
like
race.
I don't know what the record was specifically for either. It just says it's a new record. I don't think it was like height fallen or anything like that. It's just
maybe most amount of people hit in this spot.
Yeah, they all land on there's a target that they land on. They all land on it, but it's awesome. It's set to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers song, and they're all just falling through the sky and just being fucking sick, tubular.
Tommy has to be special.
Tommy, as he does, is special, and he jumps out of the plane strapped to a snowboard because, of course, he does. He's Tommy Oliver. He needs to stand out. You need to be aware that he's here. Everybody else just does normal things, and Tommy's like,
Like, do you think it was more fun to jump out of an airplane with or without a snowboard? Because I can't feel the snowboard actually would apply much unless you're landing on snow.
Well, I mean, it's cooler.
It looks cooler.
Yeah.
But the experience itself, for you in this snowboard,
you
would
feel
that really
cooler.
Yeah,
why do people jump out of airplanes? So they can say, hey, I went skydiving, and everyone goes, wow, that's cool.
I don't know. I feel like I want to do it because I want to almost feel like I'm flying, like I'm moving around and all that kind of stuff. But with the snowboard, it's just like I'm attached to something and now I can't move my legs properly.
People want to jump out of an airplane so they can tell people they jumped out of an airplane.
Sorry, I don't.
That's it. You just want so next time you're talking to somebody, be like, yeah, I went skydiving. It's not even that cool, man. It's over in like 10 seconds, and it's kind of it's kind of done. It's not worth the money. Wouldn't bother. Act cool about it.
Okay.
That's why people
All right.
skydive. That's why people do everything.
Is it because if they were actually being honest, they'd just be screaming the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's terrifying, and it is probably over in like fucking 10 seconds, and then you just go, wow, I think I just blacked out for a minute. Also, when people skydive now, it's like tandem shit. You're strapped to an instructor, so you're not even like. Well, they don't unless you're gonna go through months of like training to get like your certificate and stuff. You're not allowed to do it on your own.
So basically, I'm sharing the most anxious, driven experience of my life, but also feel kind of awkward because some fellas.
Yeah, because you're like strapped like a baby to some man's chest.
Yeah,
and he does all the work.
Yeah, okay.
It's just him patting you in the back going, "It's okay, man. I got you. Don't worry about it." So that's how the movie opens like that. We meet the kids, we meet the teens, and my God, what happens next? They go rollerblading next, and then they realize, meanwhile, at some random unspecified construction site in Angel Grove, they've dug up the egg of Ivan Ooze.
Yes, which was captured there by previous rangers.
It was like 10,000 years ago ish, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
A previous team of rangers under Zordon's command had imprisoned him under the ground in Angel Grove, which seems to be a thing that Zordon does to deal with people, because at the start of the TV show, Rita Repulsa and Goldar and all them, we find out like that's what he did with them 10,000 years ago. Yeah. He stuck her in a dumpster on the moon and just locked it up and was like, nobody's gonna find that. He wasn't even that careful with Ivan Ooze. He left him just under the city that he lives in.
So, like, was that when he started the new team, when she got out?
Yes. Yeah, that's how they...
So how long has there not been Rangers since then?
Well, we don't know. It like throughout the show, there's often references to like other Power Ranger teams that existed. Sometimes they'll be like, a couple hundred years ago or 2,000 years ago or like something along those lines. So we don't really know, to be honest. But Rita being released from the dumpster on the moon is why the original 5
current team,
not the current team in the movie, because 3 of them were replaced. But
right,
the original like 5, which is does not include Tommy Oliver.
No, Tommy.
He got his powers from Rita, who pulled a 6th power coin out of her ass and went, "Ha! I have a Ranger now," and gave it to Tommy and made him the Green Ranger.
Which I actually kind of liked with the new Power Ranger movie that was out there time, because it was implied that like she was one of the Rangers at one stage herself, she was the Green.
Yeah.
Which that was a really nice touch, to be honest.
That's a good movie, man. I like that one.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not this one, but it's good.
Yeah. Anyway, it tried to be good, the other one.
Yeah, well, Ivan Ooze is free, and he's now... Well, no, sorry. Lord Zed and Rita are like, oh, they found his egg, and they come and like free him. And Ivan's like, haha, I'm free to cause havoc. The Rangers have been called back to base by Zordon and Alpha and told about Ivan, who's a crazy powerful dude who was around 10,000 years ago.
6,000 years ago,
tried to take over the world. Zordon locked him in an egg. Oh, no, he's free. Yeah, and they say...
Ivan and Ooze, those 2 words were handed down in history somehow.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And Zordon tells him that Ivan is going to try... He's a morphological being, which is a phrase that the Power Rangers use all the time. Morphological, which I love. And he basically ruled Earth and all this kind of crack. And I might not get this right, and please, I will hate myself if I don't. But he has 2 giant robots called exomorphicons.
Okay.
They're like a giant scorpion and a giant bug ant thing. And Ivan wants to dig them up and use them to take over the world, and they're super strong, the Rangers, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Rangers go to the dig site, and then we get our first big fight scene.
Yeah.
Rangers versus Purple Ooze men.
Yeah. I mean, look, they look pretty stupid, to be fair. They look kind of like Ivan. But one thing I say, very gory. Even though it's not blood, it's not guts and all that. All their deaths could have probably been done with like real people, and the gore would have been roughly the same. they were just splattered against.
I mean,
well, remember the Power Rangers are super powerful. They're really strong,
Yeah, I mean-
and they're kicking this thing against walls and against grating, and they just splash.
Yeah, I mean, it's cartoon violence, though. It's cartoon gore. Every time they punch something, there's a fart noise. It's not like it's
God,
constant.
that was so terrible. Once I noticed that, it ruined the movie.
The whole fight. Now, it's only for this fight at the start. It doesn't happen when the movie gets serious
Yeah.
towards the end. This fight is supposed to just be like, look how cool the Power Rangers are, aren't they fun? They do the
Yeah.
Power Rangers way of maneuvering and moving, which is like everything is dialed up to 600%. So they can't walk anywhere. They have to do a front flip. They can't, if they have to back up, they have to do constant backflips. They like, every time they say anything, Tommy goes, "Hyah!" and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Which I think is just incredible and hilarious every time it happens.
Yeah, I think it's what was Aisha the Yellow Ranger gets knocked down to the ground, and the Blue Ranger does a couple of flips towards her, and then gives her his arms and says, "Hey, get up!" It's like, what?
Yeah.
You don't have to do that spin.
See-
Now did say, if you could suddenly do athletic spins all the time with these powers,
Yeah,
you
why
probably
wouldn't you?
would.
Of course
I'd
you
probably
would.
like order
I'd be
a
like, yeah,
coffee
okay.
and then just a backflip away.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, all right. See you later, bro. I just, I'd do some monk shit and just flip all over the place constantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why wouldn't you? And plus, when they're morphed as the Power Rangers, they have like super strength and reflexes and shit, so they can just like jump 100 feet or whatever. I don't know. They can do whatever the plot requires. I guess. I suppose is the answer.
And to be fair, even in the normal human form, they're quite athletic. Like they can do spins.
no, they
like
are.
Tommy
Yeah,
does them all the time.
They're not like they weren't. It's not like this. Is the thing about the Power Rangers, is that they weren't. The kids were selected. The kids that were chosen to be Power Rangers already had the skills necessary to do this. They had the attitude, they had the confidence, they had the will to succeed, and they knew some sort of martial arts / sport that would help them be Power Rangers.
They were preps. They were preps.
They're industry plants. That's what the Power Rangers are.
Yeah.
They're like K-pop stars, man. They're training since childhood.
God. Now there is a K-pop band I would follow. Just
Power Rangers
singing songs.
So
Fucking
probably, there is one, probably. There's definitely a Japanese pop group or a K-pop, J-pop or K-pop group that wears helmets and stuff. There has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. The Power Rangers have their big fight. They've got some fancy new gadgets. Rocky the Red Ranger has infrared, like heat sensor vision sort of thing. Aisha has...
the best power I've ever seen in my life.
Aisha has Power Beam, which is 2 yellow flashlights that come out of the eyes on the top of her helmet.
And not great ones. Like they're very weak.
No, they don't offer much.
Yeah.
Like it's
when they say, "Oh, the power of 10,000 candles," this is like maybe 5.
Yeah, it's very it's very limited strength, but she calls it a power beam, and it's fun.
Yeah,
I guess.
Maybe they just try to like,
what else
"Oh,
have
it's a
they got?"
power beam, yeah, cool."
Yeah, she has to call it a power beam because they're the Power Rangers, I guess. What else has Billy got? Billy has a Stega Stinger. Holy crap, that's hard to say. Well done. Stega Stinger.
Which never stings.
No, it's like it's like the bat cable thing. It's just a little thing. He just attaches it and swings off it, kind of.
And I feel like he doesn't really need. He could probably jump up to or spin in the air towards us.
Yeah, but that's
honest.
that's
Tommy.
It's the Power Rangers. No, it's not Tommy. Billy has that. It's the Power Rangers.
I mean, Tommy spun up.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. But like, nothing they do is necessary. It's just cool.
Yeah.
They do not. If anybody writing for the Power Rangers, if you look at something and say, "Yeah, he doesn't really need to do that," you're fired instantly.
Yeah.
Because they don't base their decisions.
What?
They do not base their decisions on. Well, that doesn't make sense, or he wouldn't really do that there. It's like, what would be the single sickest maneuver he could do right in this instance? That sense be damned. And it's Tommy doing a fucking 1080 spin flip up into the air like a little turtle.
I was reading. I was watching.
Do you remember those little toys with the little fairies on the top of them? You pull a string and they just go twirling. He's like one of them, just flying up into the air.
I was watching a video on movies and how to write movies, and it was one point is saying like, in a scene, there's 2 things a character should do. A character should say something that the character would say, and the second one is the character should say something that the audience needs to hear. And when it comes to it, you need both. And this is how you should always do dialogue. when you're talking about Power Rangers, there, none of those are addressed ever. The
I
characters just.
I think it's 100% the second one.
It's just the second one, though.
It's not even.
nothing to do
Well,
with
it's
the
not
first
even
one.
things the audience needs to hear. It's just things we think the audience will go, sick.
Yeah,
It's
not what even the characters should say. It's just like no.
No, but
it's what
here's the
audience
thing,
should-
and especially by the time that this movie came out, the Ranger team in this movie, with this slight exception of Tommy
Hmm.
and to a lesser extent Kimberly and Billy, like the three replacement Rangers they don't have personalities. They're not people. Even in the TV show,
Ooh.
they were just introduced because like they started something off with the original red, yellow, and black Rangers. They had they had kind of a thing. Like the Black
Yeah.
Ranger, I remember, did hip hop martial arts. He like mixed hip hop
Yeah.
dancing with all his punches and stuff. That was fun. Jason was originally like the leader guy until Tommy showed up and stole the spotlight. And
Yeah.
Trini's purpose on the team was she was like a translator for all the like weird smart stuff that Billy said. The rest of the team were like, I don't know what you're saying, but Trini was able to translate it for them. But they had like a little plots going and stuff, and then they all left, and the new
Yeah.
guys came in, and it was just like, we don't have time to give you guys stories. Just kick things. Just be here. We
Yeah.
need the Rangers. Just do stuff. So even in this movie, they're not like, and even then, even Tommy Oliver, the important Ranger.
The Ranger.
Would you be able to tell me what his personality is, like, without relating it directly to one of the other Rangers?
He likes doing interesting handshakes with people.
Well,
That's it.
Relating it to
That's
somebody
it.
else, though. Is that a personality
No, but
trait?
it's not one of the Rangers. You said one of the Rangers.
All right, fine, okay. But like
He
you
likes
think
handshakes.
Tommy? What do you
No,
think? You
he's-
think Tommy
I
used to be a bad
he's
guy.
the leader.
He's the leader,
Leader.
and he's going out with Kimberly, and that's kind of it. Like, what's his personality? We don't know. What's Kimberly's personality? She was like the all-American Valley Girl type, but
Yeah.
now
Girl
she's
next door.
there. They're all just,
Yeah.
they're not like, they don't have big personalities or anything that you could really say. The Rangers. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a typical Adam. Like, you don't really get that with them. Like, they don't,
I think you'll find all the character types are explained when they get their ninja spirit animals.
they're,
They go around and say everything about
yeah,
them.
we are told that, but like, they don't really live
Yeah,
up to it.
which is what we're saying is that the audience
Yeah,
get told what they
yeah,
need
okay.
to hear,
Yeah,
and they
okay.
don't care about the characters.
Yeah, all right, okay, fair enough. But essentially, from there, the movie becomes a movie. We've gotten these are the Power Rangers. Here's the villain stuff out of the way. The Power Rangers now lose their powers. Ivan
Yeah.
breaks into the command center and destroys everything. Zordon, his big case. He's
Tube.
not a big head anymore. He's a weird little old man in a
Different
lying on
actress
glass.
as well, isn't it? It's like
It's
different actress when he's lying down.
It's different
to when he's-
actors, yeah, and it's a different actor that plays the head that does his voice. The same
is
with
weird.
Rita
So
and
it's like,
Rita.
are there like 5 Zordons?
Yeah, and it's also in the movie. It's not the same Zordon as it was in the TV show. It's a different guy again.
Okay.
Don't know why he didn't do the movie, but and like Rita Repulsa is the same. The actress that plays Rita on screen is not who's doing her voice. So it's
No.
it's like I don't know. It's odd. But they did it. They
Yeah.
went with it, and I don't care.
Yeah.
So the Rangers are screwed. They've got no powers, but they have just enough juice left to travel to the planet Phaedos
Yeah.
and capture the spirit of the ninjetti. They're going to
Yes.
go to space and become ninjas, basically. They go to
Yeah.
Phaedos. They get attacked by Ivan Ooze's crow men from The Wizard of Oz. And
Yeah.
they get saved by Bargain,
the most
like,
sexual
with
being on the
yeah,
planet.
well, I mean, like Bargain Bin Xena sort of like comes in. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I will take her from the bargain bin each and every time.
I mean, if you pick, yeah, good solid pick from the Bargain Bin.
Yeah.
She turns up, this Dulcea, and she has whistling sticks that the crows don't like to listen to the noise of, so they all fly away.
And Ivan knows about these whistling sticks.
Ivan knows Dulcea, yeah, and Dulcea knows
Yeah.
Ivan Ooze, and she knows
Yeah.
Zordon.
So she's like a Zordon character, really. She's as old as that.
Yeah, it's implied as well. She says at one point after she agrees to help the Rangers find their ninja powers or whatever, and she gives them all ninja costumes, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're the bear and you're the wolf and all this kind of stuff.
And you're a
they
frog,
ask her,
lol.
yeah, the best line in the movie when Adam gets told he's the frog, and she's like, "What's wrong, Adam?" "I'm a frog." Like, they're all bears and gorillas and wolves and falcons and
Terrible looking gorillas.
shit. I'm a frog, dude. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she just gives him a kiss on the forehead, and he's like, "All right, yeah, frogs are cool."
You know, I'm like, this is the one thing I was kind of thinking to myself because of the new Power Ranger movie that was out. I like to imagine that even like Ivan Ooze, her, and Zordon were all Rangers in the same team, like centuries upon centuries ago. I know, I just really like that idea. Like, he was like the purple Ranger, she was like the Green Ranger, and Zordon, I don't know, was like red or white Ranger, whatever it was.
What, he would have been white, surely.
Probably, I don't know.
Maybe, we don't know. Well, but the point is, it's implied because Tommy asks if she's going to come back to Earth and help him fight Ivan or something, and she says, "No, if I leave the planet, my powers will disappear and I'll die," or something like that. So I think she's like the spiritual protector of the planet Phaedos or something, because she says as well she's Phaedos' warrior, their chosen warrior, or some fucking crap like that. I don't know.
Okay.
The Rangers, you think this is it? Grand. She gave them the ninja powers. Oh no, they haven't got them yet.
No.
They haven't got them.
Gave
yet.
them pajamas. That's what she gave them.
She gave them an outfit and was like, told them these are your powers, but you still have to go get them, right?
Yeah.
They have to.
Meanwhile, Tommy is writing down names for his new moves in this form. Like, he mentions, he does a few things like, ninja kick. It's like, he's like, all right, yes, that was
Falcon ninja
awesome.
Style.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they like, so they fight the skeletal remains of a dinosaur, which is just,
I wonder what that's about.
Mwah, like chef's kiss writing for this movie. Like,
To be
mwah.
honest, that writing is actually more. The movie doesn't deserve that part right. It actually is sort of that's pretty good.
You know, I mean, it's fairly obvious. It's an obvious metaphor, but it's something. It's a thing that
kill
kill
your old self. Like, that's the whole idea. Yeah,
you must destroy the past.
Destroy what you do
if you have to.
yeah. Obviously, they were thinking very far ahead. There was a Star Wars sequel
it's
trilogy.
Clear,
you know,
Rian Johnson was clearly a fan of this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they fight a giant Triceratops skeleton, and they win.
Yes,
they win because Tommy pulls a bone out of its back and it collapses. Which is
the wishbone.
I think is how humans work.
Yes, you just pull out.
All skeletons work that way.
Your head falls off.
You just take one bone out and everything collapses. Then they have to go. Then they go and then they have to fight like rock monsters.
Oh, you forgot Bonehead was used.
Bonehead and Fossilhead. They call the Triceratops.
Yeah,
and then they call the next guy's Rockhead.
Yeah,
but they never call Ivan Ooze Head.
Do you think it's just like they're trying to have a they don't want to say dickhead? There's a bonehead.
Maybe. They've always done it though. It's like that's their go-to insult for whatever villain they're fighting.
Yeah,
just something head. I think doesn't Kimberly call Ivan Ooze Prune Head or something like the first time they meet him? She says something like that. Prune Head or something like that, and he just laughs and he's like, Ivan hates teenagers as well as a big character trait of his. He's always
he smells teenager a lot.
Teenagers,
which is very weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the Power Rangers are always teenagers, right? So the people that locked him in the basement in an egg were teenagers as well. So I guess that's why he hates.
He also maybe he also just thinks like teenagers have poor hygiene, you know, in general.
Yeah, it's possible.
Teenagers.
There's also, all right. So we'll just get the rest of the plot out of the way for a second, right?
The thing that's not that important. Let's get that out of the way
from here
first.
on. All right. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Ivan Ooze has created Ivan's Ooze, and you really know he's a villain when he dresses up as a creepy old man and he stands in a park handing out jars of his own ooze to children.
Yeah.
Odd. But the ooze, the kids all take the ooze home, and then their parents touch it, and the parents get mind controlled.
Okay, you say the parents touch it though, like, but one of the kids that the Rangers know, his dad comes in, and the jar is closed on the kitchen table, and he goes over to it and says, what's this? And he opens it and he sticks his entire hand into the jar and pulls it out.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't even just do like a gentle guy.
Listen.
Oh, what's this?
No,
I'm going to ruin it.
Listen to me now. It's 1995.
Yeah.
Jars of ooze were a thing for kids.
Yeah, that's
right.
fair. Yes.
They
were
were
farting usually.
We had farting jars of ooze when we were kids.
Yes, we did.
People were constantly getting ooze thrown on them on Nickelodeon and stuff. Maybe he was just like,
that's
a new brand of ooze. Let me stick my hand in it. I want to see if it farts.
But what do you think? What is this? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, it's a jar of ooze. We have like 10 other jars in the house. We don't have to like open this and stick my entire arm into it.
Look, maybe he's a fun-loving guy. He wanted to make some fart noises with. He
seemed very angry about it.
Honestly,
he was like, "What?"
I don't know what his story was, but the parents all get. I want to say all, but when you see them marching down the street, there's about 100 of them tops in a very large.
No
city.
cops, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I honestly, until season 3 of the TV show, you'd be forgiven for thinking that there were no police officers in the city of Ancient Groves because they don't need them because the Power Rangers here. Until then, season 3, Bulk and Skull decide they want to be police officers and they join the junior police force.
I forgot that.
And you go, oh, there are police officers in this town. What the hell do they do every day?
Yeah.
They just do petty crimes. The Power Rangers can fight the aliens, I guess, or whatever.
There are some cops in this, though. At the very beginning, they keep an eye on the egg ooze for a little bit.
True. Yeah, is he a cop? I thought he was just a security guard.
I mean, I feel like there should probably be a cop.
He's there, anyway, whatever. And yeah, so all the parents now are brainwashed, and Ivan has them like he's digging up the exomorphicons and working in his factory making ooze and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Rangers get their ninja powers, come back to Earth. One kid leads a kid rebellion to save all the parents because the kids are having a party because their parents aren't around. The Power Rangers get their new Zords to come back.
Yeah, here's the thing, just with the kid though. Is that the kid that eventually becomes the Blue Ranger? There was a Blue Ranger kid, isn't it, that grows? No?
No, it is not.
I always thought, even as a kid, I thought that, no, that's
I thought it really would have been a cool thing for them to do, especially because like the last line in the movie is that kid, like one of them says, hey, you never know, maybe someday you could be a Power Ranger. And the kid says, nah, me, I couldn't be. Would be pretty cool to be the Gold Ranger though. Like, surely at some point they were like, let's make that kid the Gold Ranger. Would that be sick?
I feel like they still thought that when they did.
They might have, but then
Ranger,
the movie then is like a dreamscape that doesn't happen in the TV show. So I don't know. Anyway,
maybe they thought, look at it, that's a good idea.
They have their big Zord battle. Ivan Ooze turns into a giant CG ooze monster, and the Zords.
It's horrible. Honestly, it's so bad CGI.
The Zords do their thing, and it's a big lifeless fight at the end of the movie. That has no
Tommy,
fun.
for some reason, knows that the kids are up to saving the day as well because he goes to fix a train track and says, "Good luck, kids." It's like, what you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, he's Tommy Oliver. He knows everything.
Okay, yeah.
Question the man.
Yeah,
and that's essentially the movie. I don't think we've missed anything of import, really.
No, I think that's pretty much it.
I mean, it takes longer in the movie for things to happen than I have said it there.
Here's the thing. The jungle scenes in your head, was there more of that when you were a kid in your head?
No, I felt like the entire
movie was that.
There was less of it for me in my head. This time around watching it. And it's not like I'm speaking like this is the first time I've seen it in years. I've watched it quite recently as well. Like, every time I'm surprised by actually how long they spend not being Power Rangers. It's I think, and when the movie came out, this was a complaint that a lot of people had, apparently, was that most of the movie, they're not Power Rangers. They're just kids on a planet. But it's like, they're still the fucking Power Rangers, you idiot. That's the point.
They're also wearing those ninja clothing, which is basically a Power Ranger stand-in as well. Like,
they're Power Rangers. They're wearing brightly colored costumes and doing martial arts. Like, what else do you need?
Yeah.
Come on.
It really doesn't suit the traditional style, so...
I know. But they come back, anyway, on Earth, they have the big battle, and the Rangers then are able to morph again now because they beat the rock monsters and got their ninja powers. And the ninja Zords and stuff. And they have in the movie has given them new costumes to fit the fact that they're not using dinosaurs anymore. They're using animals and stuff now. So their helmets change. The TV show didn't bother doing that. Season 3 of the TV show. No, season 3 of the TV show, they get their ninja powers from Ninjor, and they're still wearing the same helmets. Like,
Here's a question.
Adam's Black
Why
Ranger is now supposed to be the Frog, but his helmet is still the Mastodon.
Why did they have to get a new costume, by the way? What happened in the TV show?
What do you mean?
Why
did they need
have
ninja powers?
Yeah.
Rita Repulsa's brother, Rito Repulso.
Oh, why
Yeah.
does he have a different second name?
I don't know. Rito Repulso, who looks like he's like an army
Italian
no, he looks like
mobster?
he's a skeleton wearing an army helmet. He's awesome.
Okay.
He turns up at the start of season 3, and God, what is it? He does something to. He attacks the Rangers, and something happens in the command center, and it's implied that basically he's winning. He does something, and the Rangers aren't at full strength, and he's beating the Zords. Either he's beating the Rangers or whatever. And Alpha in the command center is like, "Oh, I'm gonna try and like boost the power to the Zords to get them online or something," and then everything overloads and it all blows up, and then it cuts to the Zords literally falling apart into pieces. Like the Megazord's head falls off and all the arms crumble and everything, and the Zords are gone, and the Rangers now. This is where it comes back to like, is it the Zords or the power coins that let them be Rangers? Because now that they don't have the Zords, they can't morph anymore for some reason, but they still have the power coins.
That must have been traumatizing.
It's pretty nasty. And then they go to another planet. Or is it another planet? No, it's not another planet. It's just like the desert somewhere. Alpha teleports them to the desert, and they land, and it is very, very, very obviously the exact same location that they used to film any scenes outside the command center.
They're
like
just standing. Quarry kind of
they're just standing outside the command center. So I don't know. Maybe Zordon and Alpha were playing a trick on them.
Go, like, Rangers! Hey, we got very far away.
We got this map. It's in an unspecified desert somewhere.
The camera just zooms over, just Alpha in the distance, just waving.
It's like, you idiots! It's right outside. And they meet Ninjor, who's an ancient something or other, who looks like a Power Ranger, but is bulky and blue. And he is apparently the one who created the power coins, and he gives them ninja coins, and they get the ninja Zords, and they get the ninja suits, like the ones they're wearing on Phaedos in the movie. They get those, but you can't see their faces.
They look
they're the exact same, but you can't see their faces because that footage is from Sentai. And then they morph, but this TV show couldn't afford to give them new helmets, so they're still wearing the Dino helmets from old Mighty Morphin. The TV show, man, the TV show had like no budget. They had nothing. The whole purpose of it was let's get footage from Japan and make the cheapest TV show we can. That was all they wanted to do, and they did it.
Yeah.
Like there was times during
I
filming.
just searched Ninjor, and holy god, that's terrible.
That's Ninjor, man. The
yeah.
He's also like a character from some other Sentai thing as well, by the way, that they brought in for this. But there was times during the filming of the TV show where the prop department's budget was so low that each Ranger was only given one morpher to use for filming those scenes. And the actors,
and if you know filming, that's
the actors would like regularly lose them or break them or something. So to replace them, they would just send an assistant to the nearest toy store to buy a morpher from a toy store, whichever one they needed, because the toys looked exactly the same as the TV show.
Handy.
They'd just be like, Tommy lost his power morpher again. Here, run down and buy one there. They're like $10 in Toy Master or whatever. So shit like that going on all the time. Well, that's essentially it. That's what the hell is going on here, I think. I think it's time to move into the Jesus moment. It's back this week. Well, do you have one? I have one. I haven't mentioned yet.
Two.
Ooh, two.
I have two.
2, 3.
One we mentioned.
Do they all
already.
involve Ivan Ooze?
No. Actually, you could easily, especially his whole weird morphing thing where his head goes off in a different direction. But one we already mentioned is the farting thing. Like, it's a thing I've never noticed in this movie before. But when I did, it ruined the entire fighting scene for me. It was just like, it's like there was just literally one lad off screen with a button pressing the fart button every time there was contact.
Yeah, they were.
That's what it felt
it's like they were punching whoopee cushions. To be honest,
absolutely.
There was just a fart noise every time they touched one of the ooze creatures.
Yeah,
Ooze
and
monsters.
yeah, and yeah, that stuck with me, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that, to be honest. I think it, like, I don't understand this is a kids movie, and fart jokes, I guess, are popular with kids. I don't know why I said guess. They absolutely are, and they're popular for most people.
I guess
beyond
people like fart jokes.
children.
I don't know. Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
but the other Jay's moment is probably, again, this shows my lack of remembering people's names. But warrior, Xena warrior princess, on the
Dulcea.
planet, Dulcea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing she was basically put there for the dads.
Why are you talking about her,
Because
like, very
her
clearly well put together protective armor?
yeah, because I mean, look, I'm all for sexual empowerment and all that kind of stuff. You go, girls. But like, there could have been just a certain twist in the moment, and there've been a lot of things in plain view. And I'm not talking about the top half. I'm talking about the lower half. I don't know. I'm just. I guess you wouldn't expect this in a children's movie now, but.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they don't make kids movies like this anymore in general.
Yeah, they don't, clearly.
Well, they don't make live action kids movies now. It's all stupid shit.
Yeah.
They make, well, I
Yeah.
don't want to say stupid shit. Some of them are quite good, but like, you
Yeah,
know.
no, there's a lot of great children's movies out this. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely oh Jesus, okay. It's something that I grew up with this kind of stuff in kids movies, like, because I was a kid at the time. It was normal for me, but looking back at it and knowing what's coming out these days, I was a bit like, oh yeah, things sure have changed, and who they're targeting and who they're trying to interest in movies nowadays. I mean, I suppose it's also for teenage boys and stuff like that, and some teenage girls as well.
They targeted me pretty well.
I mean, yeah,
This time around.
I just think like a gust of wind, and it would have been a R-rated movie.
Nah, she was wearing a merkin.
It was a merkin that was slipping around the place. You actually saw some crotch area.
Long merkin, baby.
But yeah, those are my two RJ's moments, to be honest. Reading RJ's mind, oh wow, this wouldn't happen anymore, but they're still doing it. Cool.
Yeah, mine I think is probably Ivan Ooze imprisoning Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa in a snow globe. She just does. I think at times watching it this time, there's times when I think maybe they were trying to do like a genie from Aladdin sort of thing with Ivan Ooze, but he's a bad guy. He made a lot of like weird modern cultural references for the time that, like, I think we said it like when we were watching it, just like, how does he know about that? How does he know what a snow globe is? Like, what has he
baseball
been,
is?
Yeah, he's been locked in an egg for 6,000 years. How does he know all this stuff? And we were saying he probably did the apocalypse thing. It was the first thing he did when he came out. Was just
Apocalypse.
I'm going to connect to the internet and learn everything.
He is Apocalypse. It's not an Apocalypse thing. We've established they're the same entity.
They're the same guy. And I just wonder if, like, does he just have a because he says it and he's like, I love snow globes. And you're like, is this what he does to people? Like, does he have a collection of snow globes somewhere in his apartment?
Are they like Power Rangers teams from the past that are stuck in snow globes?
Stuck in snow globes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's another thing as well that, like, the TV show had to just ignore. They couldn't start season 3 of the TV show and be like, oh yeah, the two main villains are trapped in a snow globe, by the way. Like, because they don't get out by the end of the movie. They're still there.
They do get out.
They don't get out. They're at the end. They're like watching the fight from the snow globe, cheering for the Rangers, and then they're still in.
No, they do get out at the end because we see the two side characters on the moon chilling out in the chair, and then they come into the room and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
I don't think that happens.
Yes, it does.
I don't think that happened, Daniel.
It did.
I think you've lost your mind.
I mean, okay, folks, who's right?
Speaking of, final thoughts.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Final thoughts on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
It is the epitome of a movie from its era. It's very much the most 90s thing you can imagine in every way imaginable. It's early CGI, the clothing, how the teenagers have attitude, roller skating, which was a big thing in the 90s. Like every single thing about it is. It's the kind of thing, when you're in the. I even felt about the 90s, but if you're in the early 2000s and you kind of look back and say, what will this decade be known as? Like, will there actually be any sort of stereotypes? And I feel like people in the 90s probably thought the same. But now you can look back and see that the 90s had a very distinct feel and
Oh
look to
yeah,
them.
man! This is a movie made for MTV. It's like the real world. It's just so like, yo, these kids are tubular. Fucking, let's go rollerblading and do a back fucking kick flips, dude.
I'm surprised Tony Hawk's is not involved.
You expected somebody to like pull out a super soaker at some point and start running around shooting people, or like, it's so 90s, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I mean, it's not good, but it's so good.
The thing is, like, I have friends who it's crazy. They're about 20. They've never lived in the 90s, and I still think that's bizarre in my head that I know people who are adults and cognitive.
They're
think
20 years ago was what, the 70s, right?
Yeah, that's usually the thing. But like, it's not even that. I think it's mad that people exist now that didn't experience the 90s
never
in any real way, right?
Yeah.
And I'd love for them, if they haven't watched this movie, to watch it and let me know what you think, because I think we had that reaction to the Transformers. I know, look, I would arguably say that the Power Rangers movie it's just a better movie. Like, it's made as a movie.
It's a movie. It has an actual plot and story arcs and things. There are moments that are like scenes of people talking to each other and stuff. It's not
and
just
quietness. There's breaks taken.
And there's an odd sort of like spiritual thread throughout it that it's full of the moments that are.
Excuse me, the Transformers had when Ola won, I believe it's their spiritual prayer.
That was a cult.
Yeah, yeah. But I'd love to see someone watch that Power Rangers movie and tell me what they actually think about it. Like, is it any sort of like, oh god, this is so cheesy, it's fun, or is it purely because we grew up with it that it gives us a nostalgia? Like, obviously, it's nostalgic. I don't think both of us would say it isn't.
No, I think of all of the movies I watched as a kid, this is definitely probably the one where it's almost impossible at times for me to separate that nostalgia from the viewing of the film. So I will say that.
So would you say this movie has gotten the biggest nostalgia bump up in quality wise?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm aware now in watching it that it's stupid and not good.
It is, yeah.
But like, I can't view this the same way as I view other movies. Like, I watch this and I'm 5 years old again, sitting on the living room floor watching a VHS, just going, "Yeah, Tommy!"
With everything, but the Pink Ranger in front of you as toys, you know.
Don't bring up my trauma, my childhood trauma okay. So what Dan is talking about is I collected Power Rangers toys when I was a kid, and there was lots of them. I had plenty of them, but there was this one specific set of Power Ranger toys that were like, what was the toy's name? Armstrong, rubber.
Yeah.
The guy who's Stretch Armstrong. They were kind of like him. They were just like little like rubbery plastic things that you could like move your arms around. And they didn't come in packages or anything. They used to just be like in a, you go into a toy store and there'd just be a big bin full of like random toys. They just be
try to grab down into it,
you just root around
every
in
bit
it
of hair in your arm.
Yes, and those they were always in that bin, and they were like real cheap. But I liked them for some reason, and I had every single Ranger, but I could never find the Pink Ranger. Could not find her. Every single opportunity I got as a kid, I would make my parents bring me to the nearest toy store and just spend ages rooting around looking for the Pink Ranger to complete the set.
Your father thinking, "Oh,
Yeah,
no,
why
this
does
is
he
gonna
want
be
the
weird."
pink one? But could not find the Pink Ranger anywhere. And then I one time visited a friend of mine who was
Mhm.
not a Power Rangers fan,
No.
and we were playing with our toys, and she said, "Oh, I got this new one. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna play with that." And left the room and came back, and the toy she had gotten was the fucking Pink Ranger that I was missing.
Oh.
And I wanted to steal it so badly. I was like, I think I said it to my mother and everything. I was like, "Ma'am, no, she can't have that, and I don't have it. You need to get me that toy. Like, I'm gonna steal it. You need
Mother.
I was like, you need to talk to her mother and figure out. Like, I was like offering her. I was like, I'll trade you all this other shit. I'll give you everything in my collection. Give me that fucking Pink Power Ranger." But I never got
Never
her.
happened to this. No.
I never got her. Never got her.
If you're talking about toys, and let's be fair, these shows like Transformers, they were made for toys. They were made to like buy the toys, and there's only two toys that I really loved of the Power Rangers, and one was obviously like the Megazord. You know, you could have like I always wanted the one where you could like put them all together into the one giant Megazord.
The Ultra
Seems like-
Zord.
Yeah, the Ultra. It
Who,
just
if you
it
look,
just seemed
if
like
you look at now, looks like he has a dick.
yeah, he does. Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
The Brachiosaurus one's like
Yeah.
head comes right out between his legs. It's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes,
And
there was that one.
And I would have loved to get like the Japanese ones that they actually have the metal ones, like the made
Yeah,
from
the
cast metal,
proper
which is just
ones.
awesome.
They're
But I
like,
still
yeah,
want
they're
one
not
now.
like they're not toys though. Like those ones, they're like
But you can still like move them around and all. Like,
You shouldn't,
They're not
though.
for kids.
no, they're not for kids. No, you don't like
Yeah, yeah.
bang them together and smash
Yeah.
them. Off. Like,
And the other one, again, I wasn't a kid that got a lot of toys as a kid, naturally. But the one where you press the legs together and the head would flip out to show either Tommy or the Power Ranger helmet, and that was just
Yeah.
that was pure magic to me. I was like,
yeah,
oh my god.
yeah, those ones were cool. Yeah, I had those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, and
just a little
I've
button
always,
on the back.
and the thing is, like
flips.
later on in the series, they like because that was quite a big one, the original one where you squeeze the legs out, but they were able to work it down to like small versions. of the
They
Rangers
had
where you-
little ones where there was just a little switch. There was just a thing on his back down the
Yeah.
remote, and you just pressed it, and the head flopped.
yeah,
flipped
and
down.
then to be fair, it never clicked into the next one. It kind of got halfway, and then you kind of like
Yeah, it
pull
would
it together.
pop out, and then you had to kind of like push it to get it in right.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were still awesome.
yeah.
Look,
Well, yeah, I love those toys. They're great toys.
look, this is unsurprisingly the longest episode that I have ran. I think
Yeah.
so far it's the first episode I've ran in
Yeah.
in ages that's gone over an hour, but it's not surprising. And I think if you can't tell from listening to this that I like the Power Rangers, then
Yeah.
I don't know. If you don't like the Power Rangers, go fuck yourself. What are we watching next week?
Like, I'll say it this way, right? I never have any bad memories about the Power Rangers. It was always a good big crack. Even nowadays, when they, sometimes there's anniversaries and they bring back some of the Rangers, and it's always just a good time. It doesn't matter what team is in charge. When Tommy, like I think it was one of the newer ones, and like they brought back almost every Ranger for it, and it was the series where the Rangers, that team could change into any Ranger team of the past. And they were like in this chalk quarry, as they tend to be.
They
and they're
were
ready
in the
to, like,
desert outside the command center.
yeah, yeah.
where
And
they
they were
shot
ready to
everything.
fight, and like suddenly every Ranger comes out, and Tommy just comes out in front and says, "Don't worry, always know this, we're with you." And it's like,
Yeah, oh Tommy.
Anyway, yes, what are we watching next week? That's up to me. We're going to continue on a little nostalgic trip, and arguably something that's even bigger than the Power Rangers for our childhood, at least for me. Pokemon, the movie, the original.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I've rewatched it a million times, and I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Next week, stick around or come back or whatever. I don't know. We're
Like and
doing it.
subscribe, all that jazz.
Pokemon the movie. I hope you enjoyed us talking about the Power Rangers this week. We will be back as per usual. We're coming towards the end of our One Division weekly series that comes out every Friday around lunchtime. Main episodes every Tuesday around 4:35 p.m. ish. You can watch us on all platforms now these days.
Yes.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. I think we're on Audible somewhere.
We are on Audible. We are indeed.
Which,
to be honest, there are probably other streaming platforms beyond.
We are
but
on Google.
At this stage,
we're
we've
on
given
Google
you so many
Podcasts.
choices.
I think we
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have
Cool.
a look. If we're not, shout at us on Facebook or something.
I mean, we're definitely on platforms we aren't even aware of at this stage, which shows you how much we
We're
put ourselves out
everywhere.
there.
We are global. We are a global phenomenon at this stage.
Yeah. So we want to say thank you for our 8 listeners for keeping that going.
Yeah, big ups to you guys. And
Yeah.
so we'll look forward. We'll see you back here next week when we watch and talk about Pokemon the movie.
Oh yes.
I'll leave you with Go Power Rangers.
Asherlo.